Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and I'm Ian. And today I thought we were going to have more people, but we don't. That's cool, because we just have Nick. It's Nick and I. It's intimate. Nick's drinking some wine, chilling out. Please do me a favor and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. You can find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, all the podcast platforms. You can also find us in video form on youtube.com/MilkmanPictures, or you can go to twitch.tv/The Couch Co-op Show, where we are streaming live right now and every Sunday at 9. Usually at 9 o'clock, we start with beer podcasts, and then around 10 o'clock, we do the video game podcast. But tonight, no beer podcast because everyone bailed. No one likes beer, Nick. No one likes beer. So we're going to talk video games for however long you'll have us. And Nick, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Tonight is my review of Saints Row, the new Saints Row. Before I get to it, have you ever played a Saints Row game? Can you say I've never played a Saints Row game? That doesn't help me in the podcast. Like, I get it in the video, but in the actual audio podcast, no one can see you saying, no, I don't listen to podcasts. Or video. No, I don't play Saints Row. You're not going to answer? Cool. Awesome. This is going to be a difficult night. Just me.
No. I'm sorry. I was saying how long I could go without saying anything. But no, I have not. I've not played any of the Saints Row games. They are on many of my wish lists, but...
Are you aware of what kind of game they are?
I always just thought they were just kind of more of a... kind of an answer to Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
And that's... I think I even saw that like early on, like after the first one came out, like, oh, GTA Killers, Row.
Not quite. Yes, they're kind of a GTA clone, but I would say they're a lesser clone. And I think those first two games tried to be the GTA killer or tried to compete, and then they realized that they were never going to do that, and then they became more of a... In Saints Row 3rd, where the game came into its own, is where it's more of this heavy satire, even heavier than Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the comedy is really intense. Like, it's just it's just like constant jokes and potty humor, and they just go for it. So it's just much more balls to the wall. It's a smaller game than Grand Theft Auto generally, but
like when you say smaller, like kind of like map size, or
yeah,
game
map
length,
size,
or like storyline.
Yeah, it's all a bit smaller, but it's more balls to the wall and crazy, and just they don't give a shit. Like they just don't give a shit. It can get like Grand Theft Auto never gives you real like set piece moments anymore. Like, it's just kind of a game that happens, and it's kind of like Saints Row, especially in the third. If you ever play, in my opinion, Saints Row the third is probably the best version. 4 was based off a DLC, 4-3 that never happened, and then they made a bigger game out of it. But Saints Row 3 has this moment where you're like, you've become powerful and you're going after the boss, and then the Kanye West song, is it Power or Rise? I don't know. It's just like it becomes this moment in the video game where you're gonna go after this boss and kick his ass, and the song is playing and you're in this jet and you're just like, it's like it becomes like greater than the game really is. Like, it's like a moment in the game where the game is like transcended itself some way. Like, it's like, wow, this game has somehow made me feel more badass than Grand Theft Auto ever did. And it's super cool, and I'm super into it. And I think that's what a lot of people... But I think what a lot of people forgot was Saints Row the Third wasn't a very good game, ultimately. It was kind of buggy and not the best graphics, and I feel like as we come back to the new rebooted Saints Row, people have forgotten. They seem to think that Saints Row is like this AAA polished masterpiece, and that's never what the game franchise ever was. And that's where I'm going to start my review. The game feels like it's still a PS3 game, polished for a PS4, yet I'm playing it on a PS5. And that's not really a knock. It's just like the game hasn't really evolved much, and you really shouldn't be expecting anything more than that, you know? Like I feel like gamers nowadays, you play games and like you're like getting your God of Wars, your Ghost of Tsushimas, your Death Stranding. I mean, these games they've evolved so heavily, and they're like a next level thing. Like Saints Row hasn't evolved, really. And so I feel like if you go out to the internets or whatever and you look at some reviews, the game is not getting positive reviews right now. It's mixed to bad. And I think when I first started playing the game, that's how I felt about it. I felt pretty like, oh man. And that is a knock. That is a knock. You really want to see a game you really like move to the next level. You don't, it's, but I don't feel it's a tough game. It's a tough game to really review because I love this franchise. In my experience with Saints Row, I never played Saints Row 1. I played a little bit of Saints Row 2, but didn't really get into it. Loved Saints Row 3, loved Saints Row 4, and then was really looking forward to this new kind of reboot of Saints Row. So I got it, and then the first couple nights playing it, it is incredibly buggy. Like so many bugs. They delayed the game to
Like
polish.
made by Bethesda bugs.
I would say worse.
Oh. Ooh.
I mean, not game-breaking bugs, but like weird Bethesda bugs. No save game shit. Like I think Skyrim had some save shit. Like on PlayStation, you couldn't save games; it would fuck up. I don't know. So there's no like game-breaking bugs on at least what I played. Maybe some people have experienced it, but just weird bugs like in the save game, for instance, you save it and then it says you've played for like 40 hours, but I've only played for like 30 minutes. Then you come back and you save again, then it says you've only played for 10 minutes. So like there's something going on there that's wrong, which is scary in the fact that like, well, I'm saving my game in the hopes that this game is saving it properly, but it has no idea how long I've been playing this game. And like, is that should that be a concern of mine? I never I never had an issue with save games, but the time frame like it puts up was always different. And that was like, okay, whatever. Just as long as you save my fucking game, I'm fine. I'm not gonna. It's just one of those things. Then on
That still
top of
sounds unsettling.
yeah, it's exactly unsettling. I was like, what the fuck? On top of that, then it's just a bunch of like, man, like so customization. You would customize something, and then you're fine. And you go. Let's say you customize an outfit. That's cool. I have my outfit. I'm walking around. You go into a store and you're just previewing items. You don't buy anything. It's like, okay, so you back out. When you leave the store, you're wearing the items you last previewed. It's a weird bug. Not a game-breaking bug, but it's a weird bug.
Sounds more like you stole it and you got away with it.
Exactly, right? But
Maybe that's the humor of the game.
maybe. So you would just go back into your phone and you'd change your style and you'd be back in the suit you were wearing. That's fine. Then, and there's a lot of customization issues. Like still to this day, you can get patterns for your guns, which worked, but you can get also like textured patterns for your guns that you're supposed to be able to select. that never worked. Like I don't ever see any of that since the beginning. I play this. I put like 25 hours into this game since the beginning till now. And I've gone through 2 patches. So they've put out 2 patches. To this day, that is not so. Like I can't make my gun look like chrome or matte or like textured looks. I can get colors, but like certain pattern textures, never seen it. Doesn't work. So that bug, that's just not working. They have not figured that out yet. But these are not game breaking bugs. They're just bugs, Other other weird things in the game. There are some weird like physics based bug. I don't know if it's a bug or they just said fuck it because it's funny. But like if you're driving and let's say you're drifting around a corner and you hit a fucking water hydrant, if you hit that water hydrant, it'll just gonna launch you into the air. Like the water just throws you into the air like an explosion. And it's hilarious when you're just who cares? But when you're in the middle of a mission trying to get away from the cops or some shit, it is obnoxious. So there are
Well,
some,
what happens when you land?
well, you're
Is it
off your car, things blow up, you're just like you're fucked cuz all the cops are around. You just kind of
okay,
it's not like you land perfectly and you
essentially a death sentence?
yeah, it's kind of a death sentence. It's kind of a so you really got to be careful. You start to learn to avoid fire hydrants, which is a funny thing you never had to worry about. But like
Mm.
in certain things where you're trying to like get things, any like kind of driving missions, it becomes kind of a thing you look out for, which I think is funny, which is
Sounds like
fine.
it could be a meme of some
Oh,
kind if they haven't
totally.
already
Yeah,
done it.
like Skyrim had the certain memes. Like, yeah, for sure. It's just, but I don't think this game is like widely appreciated as much as like Bethesda games are. This game's kind of a fringe fan game at best.
But do people kind of like do these bugs? I mean, maybe not necessarily this game yet, but has in previous games have the bugs kind of been like people eventually just tolerate them and then come to love them?
So I feel like there were bugs. I don't remember a lot of bugs in the third one. I remember quite a few bugs in the fourth one, but it was more like stupid story glitch stuff. Like you get to a point and then nothing happens. Like you can't hit the button to progress, so you restart it and then you load back
Mhm.
in and then you start it and then the game's fine. This game has some of that going on every once in a while. I have had to restart it like 3 or 4 times just to like get the prompt to pop up. So there's some of that, but it's not. But that was only really in the beginning. As I continued on in the game and everything, it was working. Either A, I figured out a way to work around it, or B, it became not a problem anymore. And so actually playing, I did beat this game. So this is actually not a preview. This is a full on review. I beat this game. So last night I beat this game. 25 hours in. It took me like 25 hours to beat, and I'm still playing it too. By the way, so hey, it's not like a one and done. I actually dig this game. Um, I think it's just I think they should have focused on like last generation or this generation for one, because it's a split generation title, and I think maybe they probably should have just focused on one.
Wait, so when you're saying split, you mean I could play this?
Yeah, you can play it on PS4. Yeah,
Oh,
and we can play together
well then.
co-op. It's a co-op game.
Co-op between 4 and 5.
I'm pretty sure we could play it together. I mean, I've heard co-op is kind of a mess, and maybe we wouldn't be able to just because it's not working well. But yes, technically you should be able to play it with a friend. So that would be cool. But it's I think they should have focused on one generation. Not work on 2 different versions, or at least 2 generation versions. And then so like the things I'm gonna kind of knock it for, aside from the bugs, I think the bugs will get worked out, but it doesn't look particularly that great. Like it looks like a PS4 game.
So when you say that, what is the benefit of having it on the PS5.
I don't know.
Now, I asked that for a
I don't know.
particular reason
I really
because
don't know. Like, I
going
mean,
back to the
maybe the load times are quicker, but it still loads a lot. It doesn't look particularly great on the PS5. Um, you're given multiple quality. Like you have a frame rate choice. You have a better visual fidelity choice, and you have a 4K choice. I don't have a 4K TV, so I didn't use that. Switching between the visual fidelity and the frame rate choice, I could not see a fucking difference in either of them. Like, it looked the same. I don't even know why those choices are there. So the frame rate seemed the same in both. It looked the same in both. Visually, sometimes it looked kind of cool. Other times it looked fucking weird. I don't know if the ray tracing is working properly. It's kind of a mess. I think the game is ultimately kind of a mess. So there's no way it's gonna get a 10 or a 9. Um, it's it's. But then the original Saints Row games were never visual masterpieces or.
like what system were the first, like which one was it, PS2 that the first one came out on?
So I think Saints Row 1 did come out on PS2, and then Saints Row 2 was early PS3, Xbox 360, and then Saints Row 3 was late
I
PS3,
guess I
360, and then Saints Row 4 was PS4. They remastered Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4 for PS4. So they remastered both those games to make them, I believe. And then Saints Row 5 is PS4, PS5, or Series X. You know, it's
right.
um, it's really kind of it's you're always wondering, you know, as a Saints Row fan, I want this game to go at a higher level. I want it to get carried forward. Obviously, it doesn't really get carried forward here. It just is kind of the same, and I feel like maybe part of that is why people hate it. Is it just is more of the same. Um, but it is a reboot of the franchise, so they have new characters. A lot of people have been talking shit about the characters and the story. I loved the character. I actually really liked the characters in the story. I found that like to be one of the reasons I stuck around for so long. Maybe I'm just a simpleton and I like easy things, but I always liked the Saints Row characters, and I find these characters just as lovable. I love the.
So
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask about the characters. So is it the same group of characters like in the first four, or different characters every time?
No, it's So I don't know. I don't know much about the
I
first
mean,
one. I don't know
I
about. I've
absolutely
never played
almost
the first one, and the second one, I didn't get deep enough. I like. It seems like such. I really only I jumped on with the third because so many people were so positive about it, so I jumped on, and that's where you learn about these characters. But the only real character that really matters through the Saints Row franchise is Johnny Gat, and Johnny Gat isn't in this game. And now I was thinking that maybe at the end of this game there'd be like an end credit sequence and he would show up, or like he'd be like a young version of him. And I don't. And that so far that hasn't happened. I'm still playing it. There's like one more mission at the very end I haven't. I've been trying to get to just to see what happens, and maybe he'll show up, but I doubt it. I haven't seen any spoilers on internet or anything that would allude to the fact that Johnny Gat would be in it. But Johnny Gat's really the only real character that this franchise is hung off of. And to be fair, I don't really give two shits about Johnny Gat. So my favorite characters from Saints Row the Third died. He got killed, and like so Olaf. Olaf was this cool motherfucker that you free and then he dies for you, and it's fucking awesome, and I love Olaf. So he was never in four. Uh, so like maybe he could be in this one, which would be kind of cool because it's a kind of a reboot. But like I don't know if they're thinking about. They're not thinking that far ahead, in my opinion. So
so well then what makes this a reboot?
well,
Like
so
what
the
are they
Saints this
rebooting?
because the Saints haven't existed, so they're like they're just kind of rebooting the franchise. So these are like the four characters that start the Saints. So in the other games, the Saints were something that always existed. So Saints Row 1, 2, 3, 4. The Saints were
So is
a
it a
gang that always existed.
so is it a reboot or a prequel?
Well, right, it's a prequel, but kind of a reboot because it takes place contemporary. It's probably
Oh,
both. They just kind of
okay.
wanted to instead. Well, you'd have to understand that, like in Saints Row 4, they go to space, shit gets crazy. You're the president. Like they took the franchise to a place that you can't really like just come back and like. This game's very grounded, in a sense, grounded, quote unquote, for the shit they do. But it's like we just want to start the Saints Row guys off at the base level again. So it's like, oh, let's tell the story of how the Saints got started in a new story. So like this is, it's just another telling of how
Okay.
they come to be.
Now, are they still going to tie this in with Red Faction somehow, or
Well, they did. You didn't see my post?
still?
Go to
Um,
Discord, open the beer, go to the beer channel. You didn't see this? It's right before your post.
oh, the Red Faction Boo Works. You know, I just skimmed through and I saw that, and I thought that was actually you walking somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's my character walking through
Oh,
like a
okay.
downtown Portland type. No,
Okay.
the city type takes place in kind of a Vegas area, and then there's like suburbs that are kind of little like trendy areas. That's a trendy area with the Red Faction Brew Works. I don't
Okay.
think Red Faction's ever gonna get another game, but if they do, that's because Volition
Hmm.
worked on all those games. That's the cool
Right,
thing.
and
Here's
that's
the other thing: like at the end of Saints Row 4, they shoot a movie on Mars with all the Red Faction bad guys, even though it's not called Red Faction, because they've been
mm,
very into like. That's why I love the Saints Row universe in a way, and like I don't know, I just can't help but. Even though this game makes me upset sometimes, I can't help but smile at like the team and what they do and kind of how fun this game is. And so I really started after I think I posted something early on to the Discord like 5 hours in, like, I really like this game, blah blah blah, but it's true, it's incredibly buggy, blah blah blah. But as I got deeper into the game, the bugs became less apparent and the game really took center stage. I really liked the characters. I really kind of fell in love with the game. I love how everything kind of came together in the ending and had, I feel, in my opinion, if you're a true Saints Row fan and have played the games, I feel like it came together in a very Saints Row fashion that I really enjoyed it. I really came to enjoy it. And so that's why after 25 hours of beating it, I'm still playing it. In fact, my game is on right now and my character is on the screen because so you accrue money. So as long as you're standing and your game's open and live, so I'm not playing it, but my character's just standing there in her house. But like because the game's not an online game, it's just a single player game. The game has to be on, and then all your companies that you've created generate money for you, right? So I'm
right.
trying to generate a bunch of money so I can buy these. I'm grinding money right now, basically, to buy these last three money making schemes. They're like $1 million each. And so once I get $3 million, I'm gonna go buy them all and then generate more money to then. Basically, I'm trying to finish. There's one more mission in the game that wants you to build a skyscraper, so I need to generate money and then also uh, do some missions, and which I appreciate from this game. I really enjoy it. So honestly, I'm gonna give the. Oh, first of also, Nick, soundtrack's pretty dope. Has a lot of cool radio stations, but it has like a '90s hip hop station that is pretty awesome. So that alone is just driving around, um, whatever car you choose, however you choose to tune your car, or motorcycle. So I'm a half naked chick. I love to drive motorcycles so I can see my butt. It's just how I drive through the city and kick ass. You know, and I listen to old school hip hop. And there's something I don't know. Are the missions? Some of the missions are cool and inventive. Some of the missions are hella repetitive. I get it.
And are all these all storyline? So
No, not all
is
of them.
this also kind of like an open world game
Oh,
as
it's
well?
totally an open world game. Yeah. So there's
Open
story
world
missions,
sandbox.
but then there's some fucking open world shit you have to do, and it is tedious as fuck. But
Some guy on the side of the road has a mission for you.
no. There's like no. So you get enough money, and then you buy properties. You buy well, let's say here's a I forget what they call them right now, but you buy a business and you put it on a property that you own. So I'm doing this waste disposal. So it's toxic waste disposal, right? Cheap, got it. So then it opens up all these other missions, but it's the same type of mission, and you have to do that mission type to fulfill that property. And then it makes the maximum amount of money for you. So once you complete that, it makes the maximum amount of money, and then it also checks off a tier in your checklist to become a boss, basically. Well, for the toxic waste dump, you have to go out into the middle of nowhere, find these trucks that are full of toxic waste, and just carefully drive them back to the toxic waste dump plant. Now that seems easy, but the game is an asshole.
Sounds tedious.
It is incredibly tedious. You have to do like 11, 10 of them. 10 of them. And it sucks. I did them all. But you drive this, and for the most part, you drive it, you get it. Oh, okay. Oh, ooh, cool. But you'll be driving across one point, and then it'll just be crazy ass drivers will just start running into you, and then the barrels will just start exploding. And it's just like, fuck. You just get incredibly frustrated, and you're like, fuck you. Fuck this game. But I can say, after doing that tedious fucking bullshit, I feel a great amount of like, what is that? Where you succeed? It's just like
accomplishment.
accomplishment. It's just like, yes, you can't fuck. There's a part of me that's like, why am I doing this? And there's a part of me that's like, yes, I just fucking did this. There's like, it's stupid.
And and then after you complete it, do you just kind of go on a rage mission where you just start
Oh yeah.
assaulting
Oh yeah.
innocents?
There's always that. That's the cool thing about Saints Row. It's like it's not
Well, I
against you.
mean,
It's not against you just killing people. In fact, there's missions where it's just you're an arms dealer and you need to show off the arms that to kill people. So you just go around with a rocket launcher and you just blow up the city. That's
well,
Saints
I'm not
Row.
saying like you just do it on your own just
Oh yeah,
because, but
you
I mean,
can.
at least this time it's like, all right, I got my mission done. Now you people need to die for being the dicks that you are. And even if you guys didn't take part in it, you watched it happen and did nothing, so you die too.
Dude, there'll be times. There'll be times. No, here's a real thing. Here's a cool thing. Like you'll be driving that. Let's say, for instance, that truck with the fucking toxic waste, and the cars just start plow into you, and then you get pissed off, and you're trying to get home, and they just fucking with you, and you start ramming them off the road. So if you ram them off the road enough times, they'll go from a normal neutral dot to a red dot, which means they're now an enemy. And so like when I failed that first time, and I just like got out of the truck, and I just like just blew those just blew that motherfucker up. Like they're a red dot, and you just get there and you just start. This is like, and you feel better. It's like you are an asshole. If it wasn't for you, I would have made it. And then I just got out of the truck and I just killed that motherfucker, and you feel a little bit better, even though it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's the stupidest thing. Anyway, I love the game. Uh, Ultimately, it's a great game because it has a great character creation. I love games where you beat character creation. It allows me to be a girl with big tits, and I get to wear a bikini and high heels, and I kill fuckers, and I love looking sexy. And then it applies that to the cutscenes. So in the cutscenes, I look a certain way, which I enjoy. I appreciate. I love that. There's no lot of games that allow you to be you, really, in the cutscenes. They're
Yes,
rendering. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen memes about it too, where it's like you've got like a bunch of group of normal people, and then you have like I think it's like Big Bird or something, and the
Right.
caption is like when the game allows you to use your customized characters and cutscenes.
I appreciate that to no end because
But
that's go ahead.
I was gonna ask though, is that a new feature, or is that always something that's been a part of the Saints
That's
Row
that's
franchise?
always well.
Customizing your own character. Well, from I guess from what
I
you've
know
played.
I know I never played one. I know you can customize your character in two. I don't know what extent because I didn't play enough of it. I just kind of got it. Saints Row 2 really felt like a Grand Theft Auto 3 knockoff, and I just wasn't into it. Saints Row 3 definitely was different. It's just goofy over the top. And yeah, it in fact there's this so Saints Row 3, that's kind of reason why I fell in love with the franchise. So I fell in love with the characters, I could customize, but then there's this great scene when you finally get your whole crew together. And at the time, my character was wearing heels, bikini bottoms, and no top. And so she was tits out, but then they would fuzz out your tits, right? So like they'd be pixelized. So you would see the boobs, but the tits would be pixelated. So then in the cut scene, the whole crew is like, "We're gonna go kick some ass," and then they kind of slow motion walk, and then your character's in front, and it's just like her in a bikini bottoms and big tits, but then like pixelated tits, and it's like, they, I don't know. I fell in love with it right there. It's just like, oh yeah, I get to be myself, my character. I love it. Um, Super cool. And then the franchise would go on to do some stupid shit like just you'd have to play the other games. They go on to do some inventive shit. They do some inventive shit here too towards the end that I thought was pretty interesting. Like just towards the end, they kind of do some creative stuff, and yeah, I just I like this I like this franchise, and I was really gonna give it like a 7 at the beginning. I'm really more of a 7.5 to an 8, just because I like it so much, and I'm gonna keep playing it. I know that's probably not a fair assessment if you've never played the franchise, just because it is buggy, and I hope they fix the bugs. But I can't hate this game. I really like this game. I really enjoy playing it. I really enjoy the drifting in the game. Every car and motorcycle drifts differently, but I enjoy the way it drifts. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. Uh, Shooting's kind of mundane and pretty classic GTA Saints Row. It's just kind of like it's pretty basic shooting. It's not like the greatest shooting. Um, I like the fight. Melee combat's always fun. I wish it wasn't so in Saints Row 3 and 4 it was a little bit less unlocked. They kind of gate it a little bit in this one, which I wish they wouldn't, but it's fine. Um anyway, I don't know.
Well, going back to the driving, with their vehicles, are they actual real world vehicles, or is it just kind of like GTA where they have like names that are similar to kind of I guess skirt
It's
trademark issues?
it's very GTA like. But this game allows you to um
But is it like you
modify
kind
them
of
quite a
know?
bit.
But do you
Do
know
you
what you're
know?
what you're supposed to be driving? Like,
Kind of. I mean, it's kind of like GTA. It's like this car kind of looks like a Lamborghini. This car kind of looks like a Datsun or like a Nissan 270Z or
so if
something.
you were to jump into it, you kind of know like how to drive it. Like you're like does like you kind of know like okay, this one's gonna be a front wheel drive car, this one's rear wheel or all wheel or so
I
on and
don't
so
know if there's
forth.
that much thought in it. I don't really feel like that is like
Well, even in GTA 3 I noticed like they were I mean some of the cars you kind of knew what you're driving, maybe not, but I mean at least they did put an effort to at least have some you could tell front wheel drive from rear wheel drive cars. And this is all the way back to GTA 3 2001,
this
so it's
game
just kind of
has a way more like cartoony
but you
drifting
mentioned
system and like regardless of the car at a certain point, as long as you have enough speed, you can just sit there and just do circles. It's it's a little more comical based on the game, I think. So I don't GTA, yes. GTA has a bit of a higher, but I've never liked how the GTA car is handled. So I don't know. I mean, I find the driving in this to be a little bit more fun than GTA's. Having played GTA, not GTA Online recently, uh, I prefer Saints Row's mechanic, even though it's a little more arcadey, maybe. Even though they're both kind of arcade racing games, I don't know. It's not a big. I don't know. It's like it's so. It's so. I don't know
I
if you
mean,
can. I don't know if I
clearly they're
could
not
ever.
driving simulation games, but
Right, but I don't know if I could ever tell one's front.
well, I could because I would always and rear wheel drive cars that always spin out, especially when I'm trying to go around corners. I always end up losing it. Whereas like some of the front wheels, I could always master the corners and just keep on going, especially when the cops are after me. But you mentioned uh modifying the vehicles. Like, are you talking like engine and
So
tires and
you're
stuff
talking
like that, or
mostly
is it just
visual.
cosmetic? Oh,
M-
cosmetic.
Mostly visual, but the cars do have upgrades within them, which are like basic special kill kind of modification upgrades. So like there's like this little kind of Mazda Miata car, and its special upgrade or kind of once you unlock it, you hit L1 and it crab steers, which is really bizarre. So like you can drive straight, but you hit it if you hit the L1 and hit to the right, it won't turn. It'll literally drive sideways.
Oh, so is it like that? So there's a commercial with a truck with LeBron James. Is it LeBron?
I don't know.
And it's with a bunch of crabs, and it's basically to highlight like four wheel steering. So
Oh
it's like all
right.
four
Well,
wheels
this is
kind of.
literal crab steering, not like
Oh, okay.
slight step. This is like so like then there's some cars that have like this L1 like shoots out like uh out of the wheels. It shoots like uh what do you call those like things spears that come out of the wheels. So like when you're getting chased by the cops, you just run into them and it
Spears,
kills them. Yeah,
javelins.
javelin type things out of it. So every car can unlock a special ability, whether it be boost or it jumps a crazy way. It has it's this is a more comical game. This is like Grand Theft Auto tries to be grounded with comedy. Saints Row is like a
Right.
satire. Like you're talking about, the gun shop is called Friendly Fire. It's like
Okay.
uh, so so the guy that you take your cars to is called Gym Robs instead of Rim Jobs. Gym Robs. It's all
Yeah.
kind of it's stupid jokes.
So it'd be more of like a kind of like a, I guess, a Naked Gun or
Yeah, yeah,
Mel
yeah.
Brooks
Exactly,
type.
exactly. It's all
Right.
very tongue in cheek.
Okay.
Uh, Everyone's making funny jokes. Like, there's always a joke about like, one of the guys in your crew never wears a shirt. It's like, why is this guy not wearing a shirt? It's like it's just stupid shit.
Okay.
But it's all kind of charming and funny, and I appreciate it for how it's how Saints Row's always been, and I appreciate it. I feel bad that this game isn't as polished as it should be. I think if it was polished, it would be more favorable. Hopefully, they'll patch it. They'll get it fixed. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. 25 hours in, I'm probably gonna spend another 5-10 hours with it. I might try to platinum it, so maybe more. Um, so it's getting a positive review from the couch. I would say that if you are interested in the game, having never played it, I would not buy it now for $60. I would wait till it gets.
And probably definitely not buy it on the PS4.
I mean, it's
Or
probably no. I think it probably runs fine on the
so
PS4. It probably runs perfectly fine. It
okay.
probably looks perfectly. It honestly probably looks like a PS4 game and probably runs perfectly fine. I don't think I haven't seen any like thing about how the console version is different. I just think it's like the game it just wasn't ready, and I think just wait a while. If it comes down to like $20, I don't know, maybe pick it up or maybe say, hey, can you get that for me for Christmas? Um, I think it's a fun game. I think it's worth it. Maybe try one of the other games before that. See
Well,
if
I
you.
was already thinking about that. Get like like you said, it was the remastered 3
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
4.
3 is the best. 4 is really out there. 4 is like 3. I think this game is more representative of 3. 4 is a crazy game. 4 Saints Row 4 was supposed to be just a DLC called Enter the Dominatrix. So like slash part Matrix but slash sexy weird. And then they
Right.
decided not to do that because the success of 3 was so big that they decided like let's take that and make a whole game out of it, which is fine. But then that game is just different. It's just I mean it's good. It's the same type of game, but it's just like balls to the wall crazy. Like Saints Row 3 was kind of grounded. Saints Row 3 is basically what Saints Row is. So I think Saints Row 3 is the game. If you want like Saints Row 4 is like alien invasion, you were the president, you get superpowers, shit like that. If you get Saints Row 4 thinking that that's how this game's going to be, you're going to be like, "What?" It's totally different. Saints Row 3 is kind of where you should start. But in my opinion. Plus Saints Row 3 is the best Saints Row game. But anyway,
Is that your opinion, or is that pretty
I
well?
think that's a fact, but it's probably also my opinion. I mean, it's my opinion. I
Oh
mean,
no, I mean,
no one's going to say,
I'm actually asking seriously. I mean, I'm not kind of joking because Ian is always opinionated,
well, I
but I
think
mean,
Saints
is
Row
it pretty
4
much a
I think so. I think
well
so.
held opinion?
I think so. I think Saints Row 3 is where the franchise decided to stop competing with Grand Theft Auto and become its own thing. And then they did their own thing. There's some great set pieces in that game, like where they break him out of the jail or whatever. I mean, it's been a while since I played it, but they're singing. You're driving in the car and they're all singing "What I Got." So it's all like this. Like they instantly you build rapport with the crew. I don't know. It's just I think Saints Row 3 is the best version of the game, and then Saints Row 4 went somewhere else. The new Saints Row is trying to build off the old game. So I would not say that Saints Row 4 is better than this new version. I would say they're on par. They're just two different types of games. But I would say that Saints Row 3 is the best of the franchise, and they didn't succeed getting there with this new franchise or this new version of the game. But I do see how they could build off of this game to get back to Saints Row 3. So I hope enough people play this game to get there because I've always loved Volition. I've loved Red Faction. I've loved Saints Row. It's one of my favorite developers. They've always been underdogs. I feel like they try to make AAA games and they're considered a AAA studio, but I feel like they're incredibly undermanned and they're just like trying to make a game for people to have fun with. And so I can't I I love the heart, so I'm always rooting for them, and so I'm not going to not I'm going to love this game. So the new Saints Row I dig, and Nick, I recommend you play Saints Row 3.
Okay.
And if you like it, then and if you don't like it, then don't go further. But if you do have fun with it,
Mm.
yeah. I love the Kanye West in it. It's funny that how it works in that whole I don't know.
Are you talking about 3 or 5
3.
with Kanye?
No, 3 is with
Okay.
Kanye. 3 there's the one of the greatest set pieces with the Kanye. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna keep rambling. I'm sure, but thank you for letting me ramble for Jesus, like 44 minutes, Nick, about Saints
Just
Row.
trying, just trying to ask appropriate questions, but it's kind of
No,
hard when I don't really have a.
right, right.
I mean, I'm basically asking as somebody who has never played the game because I haven't.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, did you want to talk some news, like, or did you want to talk about video games? I know you had a news piece that you were kind of.
Right, about yeah, Well, this applies particularly to me because I don't have a PS5 yet, and about how their prices are being raised in other countries, and I'm wondering when it's going to happen here, and it's going to make me
Only fifty
sad.
dollars. Only $50. Come on. And you're a wealthy
But
middle-aged white man.
that's essentially a game.
It is essentially a game.
I
Um,
mean, it could be Saints Row
It could be.
5.
It could be. It could be. It could be a lot of other games too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
it's a difficult. I mean, I understand it. It's like supply constraints. It's chips. It's like
right. I
paying the
mean, same thing
extra,
that's affected everybody else.
paying the extra for your
Ours.
graphics cards and all this shit. I get it. I get that
I
the
mean, it's
console has been successful, but it hasn't. I think they're technically still kind of selling them at a loss.
that's what I was just going to ask. Are they still sticking to that model of
I think so.
selling them at a loss and hoping to make it up in
Right. I
other areas?
I think so, and I think game sales are up, but like they just can't sell enough console because they are just
They
short that
can't
they
sell or can't produce.
produce. They could sell it. You're
I
right.
was
They
gonna
could
s-
totally
Yeah,
sell it. You're right. You're right. So it's just one of those things where like, but I feel like in America where it sells the most and they send the most units, it's unlikely we would get the price hike. But it could
but it
happen. It
almost
could happen.
seems
If
like,
it doesn't get alleviated, it'll probably happen.
I mean, it almost seems like it'd be too, they could do it because, I mean, there's still the demand for it that they could probably almost sell it at a break even point instead of a loss and
I think one of the reasons
still
I think
retain maybe not quite as big of a demand, but I'm sure it'll still sell out in minutes, and I'm sure I'll still be without if I try.
one of the reasons you're not seeing the hike here now is because also next year Sony is slated to release the PSVR 2, and I think America was the market it sold the most. And so I think there's a lot of like hope that the PSVR 2 will sell a lot but also push consoles. Whereas I don't think the consoles are selling as much in Europe and in Asia, in like Japan, let's say, it's a lot of Switch, Um
Oh,
Europe,
your favorite console?
yeah. Europe, I'm sure the PS4 or PS5 sells, but they're also a pretty huge PC market. And I don't know about East, Middle East, all that stuff.
Mm,
I just feel like America is like the big market and they have the PSVR 2 coming. Hopefully that'll push, you know, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a symbiotic relationship and they want to keep it. But, if all this shit fails, we'll probably get a hike.
mm.
Or if shit doesn't open up. Because, like, at what point, because this console is sold really well. Really? Like,
Yeah, what are the sales figures?
I mean, it has sold better than the PS3 at launch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that one took me about 2 years to get.
I think you'll be fine. I don't know. I don't know, man. It is. You at least have a year. I would say. I would say you have at least a year. And if you're not gonna get it, you're gonna have to spend $50. But then at the same time, here's the other
Yeah,
thing. Here's the other thing. Maybe they don't ever raise it, and we'd probably be the first to get a pay. At some point, it will lower. So by the time, like how long did the PS4 last? 7 years, and we're
yeah,
two
yeah, basically.
and we're 2 years in on the PS5, basically, ish. You're talking
Yeah,
like you got 4 years left, and in that time, the PS4 definitely had a price decrease. So
and
like,
PS4 Pro.
yeah. So maybe we'll get another one of those. So I would imagine we don't get. I imagine in America we do not get a price hike. I bet they. I bet we. I bet they do what like we were kind of talking about earlier a little bit like that. Like you said, there's the new PS5 Pro, more expensive, and then
8 terabyte hard drive,
but
solid state.
but maybe they don't lower the price of the base PS5. Maybe they just hang at the price instead of lowering it. Maybe they just hang at it, and then the PS5 Pro is more expensive, and then we see who buys that, and then that goes on for
Or,
a while, and then maybe they lower the prices after that. But I don't know. Who knows, man? It's all a fucking
we clear out
battery.
inventory for the PS6.
How much longer are you gonna do this? I'm curious how much longer I'm gonna do this.
What? Keep buying consoles?
Consoles? Yeah.
Mm.
It's easier just to buy a computer.
Songs sometimes.
I don't know. I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
It seems like a lot of times, well, maybe not a lot of times, but I'm probably speaking more back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where sometimes you just kind of hoped and prayed that all your peripherals would just play nicely and you could actually be able to start up and play a game without any issues. Um, and it was kind of like the early days of like plug and play.
I feel like it's getting better though, especially through Game Pass. I feel like most of the games through. I don't think I've had any
I was just
issues.
talking, I was just talking more like just like older days, like hoping the
Right.
hardware would
Like on PC,
work together.
but I feel like on PC nowadays, Xbox Game Pass will let you know if your computer it tries to anyway.
Oh,
It
oh,
says
okay.
like this game should work on your PC. I've never
Well,
had
I
a
mean,
game not work.
I've always gone. I mean, there's a website that I've gone to for years. Like it's called Will It Run It, and it basically
Right.
just does this quick scan of um, all your hardware and says whether or not you can run stuff. And that's where I've pretty much determined that that old dinosaur back there is the latest games it can play came back out in early 2014.
Well, that's why I was
Anything
saying
after
like
that,
cuz I know you're a huge Bethesda fan. You should just get a
hmm
PC.
I know, but part of it is
You like sitting on your
I,
couch looking at your big TV.
actually, no, I actually prefer playing on the PC a lot more, but it's
Then you should just do it.
part of I should, but I'm hung up on something so minute that I should probably just get over it.
What
But
is that?
the keyboard.
Oh my god, you can get another keyboard.
No, no, I understand. Well, any key, it's not just any keyboard. It's a kind of a gaming key. I don't know if you can actually see it. No, if I can bring it close enough. I know I have another one
There
in
are
the
other
closet,
gaming
but
keyboards out in the world though that are probably mimic what it does.
well, if they do, that'd be great because that one it didn't make it past Windows 7 in terms of the drivers.
What
And
does it
there's like
do though that you like about it?
it's just more. It's got like it's got actual keys. I mean, it has like an actual keyboard itself, but then it has some of like the WASD keys. It's got them over on the side too, and they're
Oh.
larger. They're larger, especially for my sausage fingers. So it's like I mean, it's got like the same buttons, but I mean, it's like they're
But
larger and they're a
has
little bit
another
more.
set. Has another set
Yeah,
just
and they're
for
a little bit more
right.
designed more for actual playing instead of just
But
straight up typing.
don't they have those breakout actually keypads just for that? I feel like they have like a breakout keypad just for that. Like those keys but
Um,
in a separate.
maybe they do. I
No,
if they do, that'd be great. I'll
I thought they did.
love to
You
take a
might
look
need
at
to
it,
look into
but
that. I think whatever that is, I'm pretty sure they have that tenfold now.
well, I hope so because I kind of fell in love with that setup, and it really upset me. Like once I upgraded that to Windows 10, and
Have you
the
tried plugging it
drivers
in?
just
Have you tried plugging it into your Mac to see if you can get it to work? Just out of
um
curiosity, just like to see if it works as a keyboard.
No, I haven't because I would have to get the games that I want to play on there to play on the Mac, which,
Right. No, no, I
according to
wasn't. Yeah, I don't know if the games would work. I was just curious if you could like plug it into the Mac and just see if the keyboard
uh,
worked. That was all my
no,
question.
I haven't done that.
Mm. Yeah, man, you should just get back into PC gaming. Just go full tilt. Get Game Pass. You can play Death Strand right now on your PC. Oh wait, you already have it.
Yeah, I have it on the
Four.
PS4.
Have you been
Hmm.
playing anything?
Well,
No.
not this week. I mean, I played like a couple, maybe about an hour or so of Fallout 4, where I discovered a lovely bug.
Oh.
So
What bug?
thanks, Bethesda. I was trying to talk to the Vault Tech rep. I had him. I found him out in the wild some time ago, and I sent him back to Sanctuary. And I've been trying to get him to become a vendor to sell stuff because I hear he sells legendary gear, but I can't interact with him at that level. All I can do is listen to him talk about, repeat some of the same old stuff, but
I thought
I can't.
I thought you could only get legendary gear once you completed a certain story level. Is that not true?
No.
Oh, you can get it anytime.
Like, well, yeah, if you kill a legendary creature, or
Hmm.
some people sell legendary items. Some I normally just pass by because it doesn't seem that great. But
I don't have legendary gear. I have badass gear from a mod that says, "Hey Ian, just use this and kill everything."
mm, and mods on the PS4 or 5, or
No PC mods.
are you paying?
I
Yeah.
only mod
See, that's
my Bethesda games. I only mod on PC.
good. Well, I mean, because it seems to me that the PS. I mean, I think it's yeah. The PS4 only allows a certain amount of
Mm-hmm.
mods or certain types of them,
Right.
whereas like Xbox and especially PC, just go
Well,
and you can
won't.
go on a shopping spree at Nexus.
Xbox won't allow certain things either. I don't think Caliente's
Um,
beautiful body mods is on Xbox. So yeah, but hey,
Whatever.
that's why you need to get a PC so you can get back to that beautiful. You could just be modding some cool ass shit. Yeah, I mean, you walk into
Mm.
my. You should walk. I mean, one of these days, I should just log in for you to see my sanctuary, and you'd be like, "That is some fucked up shit."
Wait, you can't do screenshots and throw them up on Discord?
It's not the same because you need the sound
Um,
effects and the motion. It's a lot of motion
yeah,
and
okay.
sound that you would
I
need
see.
to experience it. Uh,
It's,
it's it's pretty fucked up, dude. It's not fucked up. It's just like Ian is a pervert. Is basically what it comes down to.
really? You're kidding me.
No, I could not have fathomed that that's who you are.
Mm.
Anything else you've been playing? No, just Fallout. A little bit of Fallout. Nothing on the
Not
Switch.
really. I mean, no. I mean, I should go back and play some games on the Switch. I really need to go back and play Link's Awakening. 'Cause that was a pretty fun. I mean, I played it on the Game Boy originally, back when it came out, back in the early '90s. Um,
I never played it.
but
I've
yeah.
never ever played that. So
Well, yeah, you're not a Legend of Zelda guy.
I will say, so Destiny 2. What time? What day is it today? 28th and
20.
August
Oh,
30th until right now.
oh, two
I'm
more
gonna
days.
2 more days. All the expansions are free to play, and so I downloaded it. I haven't played Destiny 2 in a long fucking time. So I
That game is
downloaded,
what? It's almost 5 years old at this
yeah,
point, right?
right? So I downloaded it to check it out, and I pop in, and I have no fucking idea what's going on. I'm just like, I mean, I get how the game works. Like it pops me down. So which queen is the newest DLC? So it goes through the story, and then it pops me down in the first Witch Queen story, right? First story mission. But my character is drastically under level. So I'm shooting at these guys, and it just above their head it says, doesn't say a number, it just says question mark, and their health bar is not moving. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? This so I go back to the tower, and it's just and then I'm just like kind of like taking all that in. So all the menus and all the new shit is just like, what the fuck? Where do I even go? If you're a new player or you're just an old player coming back, it's like this type of game is not friendly, dude. It is just not friendly. I just like
It sounds like it
unless
already chased you away.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it. Like I was gonna like try to fuck around in there. I thought I had played it a bit more with like fellow listener Tony Death. I thought we had played it a bunch. I thought I had some decent gear. But like when I logged in, my character had none of that shit. And I was like, did that gear get taken away? Because I know they sunsetted a couple expansions. So maybe I lost a bunch of gear because of that sunsetting of certain expansions. So I just feel like
Wasn't
my character is just like woefully under level. I don't know what to do. I just feel like, man,
I thought there was some controversy on something like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. Like I think the first two
Where
earlier expansions were sunsetted. So
and
like,
then yeah, people lost a lot of great gear and
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
rightly pissed
I think
about
they
it.
took it away, and then they brought in whatever the that time was. Maybe it was Beyond Light or something. I don't know. And then you were supposed to, but I would have to go, which is fine. If I had known, I would go through those. But like, it doesn't really. Someone at my low level, it doesn't point me in the direction of that. Like, hey, I'm at this low level. No, it just throws me into the high level bullshit I have to deal with. And it's like, I can't do this right. There's no way I can do this right now. You need to like look at my level and tell me where to actually go, but it doesn't. And it's like, it's just, I like
It's
the
their way of
game.
saying like, yeah, not you. We
Yeah,
want other
nah.
people.
Like, hey, you called me back. I thought that was interesting, but your game isn't catering to me. Like, if your game catered to me in a way that I could like figure out where to go at my level, then sure. But like, there's no way I should get thrown into a game, a mission that I have no way of competing in. I just that's anyway.
It's
I
a
really
game's way of saying it doesn't want you.
yeah, right? Basically it's like get good. It's like, well, I would love to
Mm.
get good, but you also told me not how. You didn't tell me how to get good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no.
kind of wanted to sink some time. I was actually kind of looking forward to it, but it's like just figuring out where like there's nothing tells you. It's just like nothing tells me where to go. I just it's I don't know. I wish there was a way for it to work, and it doesn't work. And so what I'm saying is, hey, it's free, but if you haven't played in a while, don't fucking do it because you have no idea you have no idea where to go. And I wanted to try it. I think honestly, when Destiny and you have friends playing and Destiny is firing on all cylinders, it is one of the greatest co-op games of all time. It's one of the best first-person shooters, but like if
Maybe you
you're
need to team up with
yeah,
Jared and Jeremy when
yeah,
they play.
clearly. But if you're not if you have no idea what's going on right now, especially right now, it's just like what the fuck? Anyway, so that's kind of my review of that. A great game gone south if you don't know what the fuck's going on. Um, but anyway,
If you took a break, you may as well just call it quits.
well, that's kind of why I was hoping they would actually do like a complete like, okay, this is it. We're gonna sunset this. Now that they're their own company, they could relaunch it and then just call it Destiny. Not Destiny 1, Destiny 2, just like, hey, this is it. We're going to, and then we're going to reboot it. We're going to do this, Destiny. And then I could jump back in. But no, they didn't do that. They just decided to say, we're still Destiny 2, and we're just going to go crazy. And
And
we're
they
going to
decided
add,
to sunset you.
yeah, they sunsetted me. Cause like it just gets. It's just like. I mean, I guess here's the thing. I guess I could figure it out, but I only have 2 days left. There's no way I'm gonna figure it out, and I don't want to spend the fucking $80 or whatever it's gonna cost me to get all this shit. So it's like I have no interest, little to no interest. Come on, just release a new game, Destiny. Just, just
Destiny
wipe it.
3.
Just wipe it. Just doing a world-altering event that just destroys the tower, zeroes everyone to zero, and let's start again. All right, Nick. Anything else you want to say? Anyone? Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, I've unfortunately got nothing.
All right. Well, I want to. Well, thanks for hanging out
Yeah.
Thanks. So it's not just me alone talking to myself.
Mm-hmm. At least I tried to do something, ask questions.
No, it's great. No, that's I love talking off somebody and has a little comment to say or a little question to add. It makes it gives me a moment to like breathe and relax, and then I don't even know if I was helpful on this whole Saints Row thing. I mean, I like it. I get that not everyone's gonna like it, but I don't know if I even helped you. I don't even know
I
if it was
mean,
a good review.
almost felt in the beginning. It felt like, wow, this sounds almost very similar to like a Borderlands 3 review.
Kind
Like,
of.
if you're a fan of the series, you're gonna like it. But if not, then I mean, this is not where you start. If you want to start, go to like 1 or 2. But
At least Borderlands 3 wasn't as
eh,
buggy.
no, but I mean, in the beginning, it sounded like
Right.
Saints Row 5 was just kind of a more of the same type of thing.
Right.
But in the beginning, I mean, it sounds like it as we kind of work through it.
It's a relationship. You learn to
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Did you beat
yeah.
Borderlands 3?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did.
I finally beat it. Uh, it was funny. It was like I was like so close to like the last mission, and it just when I took one of my mini breaks because of Borderlands burnout. By the way, I don't recommend playing 1, 2, and 3 at the same time.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah,
I was, you know what?
it,
You know what's funny? It's like Borderlands 1 and 2, I played so many times. Like, I beat those games multiple times with different people, different loadouts. Borderlands 3, I picked one character, played through it, and I put it down, and I've never gone back to it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's something about the game or just that everyone was just kind of tired with the game at that point. Cuz like I just remember the first Borderlands I used to play all the time. And same with Borderlands 2, all the time. I don't know. Were you like that or did you never were you not like a multiple playthrough guy?
I did. I mean, more slowly, but yeah, I did like. I mean, I only did one character, and for some reason, like Borderlands 1 and 2, apparently I always gravitated towards the guys that got to throw out a little sentry cannon, but Roland and Axon. Um, but I mean, it was by accident, but
Siren
I
board
assure
and
you.
bread, baby.
Um, I mean, I just did like kind of slow playthroughs. Like, I think the first run through of Borderlands 1, I want to say I bought it like a couple months after it came out, but I didn't end up beating it until probably like 9 months later. And then my second run through, Jared kind of helped me out, and I think we ended up. I can't remember if he helped me finish my second run through or not, but I mean, he at least got me real close. But
Do you think it's kind of a dead franchise? Like it's kind of
Borderlands,
like tired, not dead, but like tired.
um,
Like you didn't
I,
buy the new game, the what is it called?
oh, the Tiny
Tiny
Tina's
Tina's Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I kind of forgot about it actually.
I'm gonna buy it when
So
it hits like
that
$20.
yeah, I'll probably do the same. I mean, Borderlands 3 was probably that's only the second game I've ever like pre-ordered,
Oh, really? Okay.
and I actually like pre-ordered like an advanced version, thinking like, oh yeah, I played one. I mean, even though I kind of played it slowly, I still loved it. I mean, there's still like memorable spots, like even to this day that I remember like playing like back in early 2010, back when I had weekends off. That I remembered playing, and maybe I'd kind of get some of that vibe going with Borderlands 3, but not so much.
I
I mean,
pre-order. I actually
it was
pre-ordered.
fun.
I pre-ordered Borderlands 2. I did not pre-order Borderlands 3 because I was just like burnt out, and I bought it way later than everyone. I bought it like for like I would like to say less than 20. I think I bought it for like 14.99, and then I think I played it. I played it with like Jared and I played it with Jared for a bit, and then beat it and just was like, oh, that's a good 14.99 game. I just
Yeah, I didn't. I my first experience with Borderlands 2 was I actually bought it like a year after release, when it was on sale on Steam,
right.
and I started it, but like I don't even remember the character I used to start it with, but I didn't make it very far. Like I was still
The
like on
Gunzerker.
nah, I don't think so. I mean, I ended up picking him like when I bought it for the PS3, but uh no, when I bought it on Steam, it was just I played a little bit and then it's just I kind of just stopped because I think I was still kind of in New Vegas mode, so I was still
Hmm.
playing that.
Yeah, Borderlands. The first Borderlands I didn't play. I mean, years after it launched. It wasn't until Bill said, "Hey, let's play this together," and we started playing it. And then he and I would play it, and then we would allow randos to come because you could play. Was it 4-player co-op? So you could on the
What the first?
multiplayer you could have like randos pop into your game,
Oh,
and then we would have our voice changers on our PS3s up to like super high squirrel voice. They're like, "Hey, bro, hey, yeah, let's go," and we would just annoy the fuck out of them, even though we were killing things. I think we just annoyed them to the point. Always super positive, nothing negative, super positive, but just obnoxious squirrel voice. That sometimes they'd stick around, but sometimes they'd just leave right away. And we used to have a lot of fun doing that, and so like that hyped me up for Borderlands. So that was at the end of Borderlands, the original kind of timeline, and so like Borderlands 2 was about to come out. So when Borderlands 2 came out, I was like super hyped on the game, and I pre-ordered it, and then had a lot of fun with that game too. We did the same shit and had a good time, and played with Jared and Bill, and we just played those games. But for some reason, Borderlands 3 just didn't hit that way, and
mm.
just lost interest, just like killed the flow.
So if there's ever a saying that I ever pulled from listening to pro wrestling podcasts, I already forgot it, but it was like
Suck a dick, but not twice.
no, it's like it has something to do with steak. It's like a lot of sizzle but no taste, I guess. Oh god damn
You
it!
know
Now I
what?
just
I
have to
think
look it up.
Borderlands 3 is actually a pretty solid game. I just feel like
No, it's not a bad game, but maybe
I just don't think
like
it hits
it's
like it doesn't hit the same way. It's kind of like
there's always like it's like there's always like a reason just why it wasn't as great as it could have been.
well,
Um,
here it does a couple things for me. First of all, it is just kind of more of the same, which is fine. But what the awful thing it does for me as a Siren player, it kills what's her name? My Siren in from Borderlands 2. What's her name? I can't think of her name.
Lilith?
No.
Wait, Siren from Borderlands 2?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
Lilith, not
Lilith is
Lilith,
from the.
not Lilith. It's
She's from the first one.
yeah, Lilith's from the first one. What is her name now? Why can't I remember her name? Everyone's typing in furiously saying, "You're not a fan."
Who's typing in?
Yeah, exactly right. Everyone's typing in. Anyway, she's because that's my favorite version of the
Maya?
siren. Maya, yes, Maya.
Okay.
So they kill Maya. Spoilers
Maya the Bee?
in Borderlands 3, and I was just like, what? Anyway, that pissed me off.
It's okay. They killed Roland in Borderlands 2, so I know
Yeah,
how
but
you
I never
feel.
cared about Roland. But I cared
Oh, that
more.
was
I
my
killed
dude.
more about Mordecai's hawk bird thing than I
Yeah,
did
that
Roland.
too. I didn't like that either.
Yeah, no, that was more shocking to me. Roland was like, oh well.
But it was awesome though in Borderlands 2, where we got to both throw out our. No, I'll show you yours if you show you mine. Or
Did you ever play Tales of the Borderlands, the like, little story thing, the Telltale?
no, I didn't.
Oh, because that's where they kill Catch a Ride dude. What's his name? Catch a Ride.
Oh, so that's why
Yeah,
Ellie
that's what.
takes
Yeah,
over.
that's why Ellie takes over. So if you haven't
Oh,
played
okay.
that, but his death of all the deaths that have happened in the game, his death is the best. It's like perfect, and like so like it's earned
Really?
in that game. Um, but you have to play that game to find out how he dies. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, that's why she takes over, and you're like, what? Why is he not around?
Yeah, where'd he go?
He
It's like,
died.
well, whatever.
He got fucked. Well, he dies being a hero.
All right. Good for him.
It's actually the best moment in that game. He's like doing whatever he's doing, and he's like about to die, and he goes, "Catch a ride!" and then just explodes. It's great. It's pretty punk, as the kids would say.
I mean,
So
I
good.
did start pre-sequel, but I
See,
don't
I
know.
could not play through that game.
I saw
That
Handsome Jack in there being a good guy. It's like,
well, that's one thing, but like I don't know, the game just felt so like. I tried to play that game twice, so I started one time and was playing. It's like, and then I just lost interest. Mainly
well, I
because the
tried playing
planet,
it.
mainly was the planet where you have to wear a helmet or whatever, and the gas is you bounce around. I don't know. I just like fuck this. I don't want to do this. I want to shoot shit. Anyway,
Yeah,
I think basically what they should do is apply their knowledge of that game and do a different genre. Just move on. Like let Borderlands sleep for a while. Let it go. And do that same kind of type of game, but somewhere else. I don't know, just like a
they can do like a. They can tie it in like a Saints Row and Red
Red
Faction,
Faction,
or or
dude.
uh,
The
or a
funny thing about
Fallout
that is Red
Skyrim.
Faction is so serious. I think that's why, like,
Is it?
I
Well, I
guess it.
gotta ask. I mean, I know you didn't play the first one and played a little bit of the second one, but did they at least make a joke? Like, is there like maybe a little kid where they make a joke about him being a minor? Like,
No, generally
we're gonna
no, no,
get you
no.
minor, or
I
well,
don't.
I
I
mean,
don't think. I don't
you
think. I don't
you
think
played the
they.
first Red Faction, right?
So
Years ago.
so here. Let me pull this out right here, buddy. Let me see. Where is it at?
I mean, you're basically answering my question at this point, but
Yeah, right. I
it's
mean,
gonna pull out a copy of the game and up, here we go.
no, but I got all the
Oh, how
games.
many copies?
I got
Oh,
all the games. I got the originals,
yeah, okay.
1 and 2, and then I got 3 and 4. So I don't. So like, yeah, THQ did all of these. or what would
Mm-hmm.
become, or Volition did all of these games.
Toy headquarters back when they were in business.
No, they are still in business. Well, the new
Oh, yeah, I
version.
thought they. Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
So Toy headquarters died. Volition died.
Mm-hmm.
Volition got bought up by Nordic at the time. Then they rebranded themselves THQ Nordic. And then THQ Nordic separated into THQ like license group and then THQ Nordic developer. THQ license group became Embracer Group. Embracer Group became this massive licensing company that then houses a shit ton of properties now. Um anyway,
And this was all in the same year.
no, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Red Faction, to my knowledge, playing the games, Red Faction didn't make an acknowledgement, or Saints Row didn't make an acknowledgement of uh, Red Faction until Saints Row 3, where there is
Okay.
some. They make. I think there's some talk about. What is the fucking. I forget what the name of the evil group is in Red Faction because I haven't played those games in a while. But then in Saints Row 4, they actually go to Mars and then you fight that group in a kind of a movie
Right.
thing. And then, so I think it's acknowledged in 3. I don't know if Saints Row is ever acknowledged. I'd have to go back and play some of these
Well,
Red
I'm just
Faction
wondering,
games.
just kind of like that Red Faction Brewing. It's I mean, do you remember like the initial
Brew
moments of the
Works,
first?
please. Anyway, what?
Oh, sorry. The initial moments, like the beginning of Red Faction, the first one, like the whole, you're a miner, and then you decide to start this whole uprising, and you've got the security forces. They're all yelling at you. Um,
I barely,
like they're all
I
yelling.
don't, I really
Okay.
don't remember how these games start. I do remember how
I don't know how the second one starts. I
I,
just know how the first
I
one
remember how
starts
this
because I've
game
like
starts
started it.
because I actually bought the remastered Red Faction remastered. I do have this on my
Oh.
PS4, so I did start playing this again, but there's nothing that really alludes to Saints Row.
Well, no, I'm not saying if there's a tie-in for like a reverse. I just want to know if Saints Row made like a reference to Red Faction, other than like maybe like a like speech. So like I'm I'm taking a very big scenic route here to try and describe this, but like in the very beginning of Red Faction, when you're still kind of an employee starting this uprising, when you start actually starting attacking the security forces, they have like all sorts of like these catchphrases like "you're gonna die, miner," or I was just wondering if maybe they had like one of those phrases where they like incorporated it into a Saints Row where you yell at like a kid or something like a line that's similar to that.
You're going to
No,
die, miner.
okay. Well, like maybe not gonna you're gonna die, but like
I can't
don't
think of
do that.
anything.
I don't know. Like I would like in my head, I kind of remember the catchphrases more than they're
As
actually
a Red
spilling out of my
Faction
mouth.
fan, I
But
can't think of anything that while playing Saints Row they said in this latest Saints Row that made me think Red Faction, except for the brewery. So,
well, how about the other Red Faction reference that I can think of? Can you like shoot rockets at a wall and it will actually show damage?
so that's different. That's the
Okay.
Geo. That's a different like.
The
That's their Geo mod engine that I
yeah.
don't think Red Saints Row doesn't use that, but they do.
Mm.
A lot of shit does blow up, but it's not. Yeah, man. You know
You
what's
can't
great
blow
about
your
that?
way.
That's such a good. That's such a good. Like, why didn't they go deeper with that? Maybe they don't own it. I don't know. But
Mm.
Red Faction is such a Red Faction 2. I think is actually better. Red Faction 1's fine. Red Faction 2 is a pretty awesome game. As far
I
as
didn't make it very far into Red Faction one,
oh
unfortunately.
oh
I I'm not saying the game itself was bad. It's just my attention span was at the time.
get Red Faction Gorilla get remastered on PS4. I think this game is a lot of fucking fun. This should be called Red Faction Become a Terrorist because you can take a truck load it with a bunch of C4, drive it, jump out, and have it drive into a building that you have to destroy, and then ignite it and blow up the building. It's literally Terrorist 101. Me and Dave love this game. This is one of the greatest games ever made. If you've never played Red Faction Guerrilla,
Do any of the Red Faction games, do they have like a little bit of a sense of humor?
I mean,
Or are they just
kinda,
pretty
not really. It's pretty. It's not. It's not as funny as. There's. I mean,
so
there's
no
occasional joke, but I wouldn't say it's like funny. It's not funny like Saints Row is.
no Total Recall references or anything?
Total Recall, no. I would even say that Saints Row probably has a total. Saints Row has, dude. If you want the references, Saints Row 4 is all. I mean, the last sequence in Saints Row 4 when you're falling down this, they're literally playing. You got the touch. You got the power. And then they're like, anyway, it's that game is like nothing but that kind of shit. That's why I say don't go into it first. That's why I say go to Saints Row 3 first, and then if you want the crazy, go to Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 is great, but it's just like, it is crazy.
Like unhinged crazy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Like, hey, we decided to make this game, and
Fuck you.
there's no. Well, I mean, sometimes comedy needs a filter, and sometimes you just let it go and see what happens.
All right. All right. All right. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Well, Nick, thank you for joining me here on the couch tonight.
You're welcome. I had nothing to add, but here we are,
You added
an hour and a
plenty.
half later.
You added plenty. Plenty.
Mm,
Plenty. I
could
want
be
to thank you
plenty.
all for listening and remind you that you can leave feedback on Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramtor at Couch Co-op Shows. All one word, no hyphen. Remember to please subscribe and share, and maybe leave us an iTunes review. You know, give us a plus. Give us, just share us here with your friends, man. I will say this to our listeners. We still have people listening to this video game podcast that I, and we, but we release very seldom. And I really like to thank the 100 or so of you that still like kind of listen to this ragtag crew of gamer old men. And I'm sorry that we haven't really been there every week, and I'm sorry that we could be a bit more innovative, but we're lazy now. And if you want us at our best, you probably need to switch over to the beer podcast, Couch Co-Hop, where I think that's kind of where, as we start to play less video games and drink more beer, it's kind of where we're at. But I promise you, this podcast is not going away. It's just going to be, a little slower on the uptick. We're not going to I happen to play Saints Row, so I'm definitely going to do a Saints Row episode. But video games are just not, they're not as important as they once were, Nick. Do you know what I mean? You know what that's like? It's just it's kind of sad.
Um, yeah, but adulting takes time sometimes. So I mean,
Right.
like today, um, I would have liked to have sat down and like to have played a couple of games, but somebody wanted a smart doorbell installed, and that even didn't happen because it wasn't as clear cut as you know some installation videos make it out to be.
You know what? You know what I
Uh,
like to my smart doorbell. I wish my smart doorbell was just a sensor, so if someone's finger came to it, it would just go, "Nope, I'll let them know you're here. Don't touch me," and then it would just ring.
a really smart doorbell would actually like have spikes that would come
All
out.
right. Well, that's why I have a fake spider by my doorbell, and people don't want to touch my doorbell.
See, I'd rather have a real spider, but that's just me.
Well, I don't want to feed a real
Of course,
spider.
I wouldn't want to subject a real spider to that because Spider Bro is my bro.
Spider Bro. All right, where were we? Remember to please subscribe and share. Maybe leave us an iTunes review. Yeah, leave us some reviews. We haven't gotten a review in a long ass time. Also, now that we've moved to anchor.fm/the Couch Co-op Show, if you go to anchor.fm/the Couch Co-op Show, there's a message button. Tony Death. Yeah, I'm singling you out, Tony Death. I know you're driving in your shitty ass pickup to somewhere in Philadelphia, chasing down some Amish people. You know, just jump on your phone, go to anchor.fm/the Couch Co-op Show, press the message button, press it, and then you can start right there on your phone. You can start recording a message, and you can be like, Ian, goddamn you, these Amish people. Not that I have anything against Amish people, but Tony Death does. So, yeah,
I
anchor.fm.
recommend an Amish game.
Amish game. That Amish game Vigor. Or that Amish game Warzone.
Yeah, I recommend Barn Building Simulator.
Barn Building Simulator. Dude. Hey, we didn't talk about this, but do you have any interest in that game that Jared posted, Beer Brewing Simulator?
I don't know, but it just seemed like a game that kind of bleeds into both of these podcasts, this
Yeah,
and
right.
Couch Co-op, and it kind of
It'll,
left me at a level of confusion. It's like, where does this land?
it ends both of our podcasts.
Eh.
Anyway, yeah, so anchor.fm/the Couch Co-op podcast. Hit the button, leave us a voice message. We'll play it on the air. I dare you, Tony. Tony, I dare you to leave a message. Anyway, I want to thank Nick for joining me here on the couch tonight. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian. Reminding you to please be excellent to each other. Wild Stallions. And I'm going to play the opening right now.
Opening or closing? Oh, it didn't used to be for a bit.
Couch Co-op.